What is up, you guys? What is up? So this will be our live me and the Nomad nurse for nursing with nurses and entrepreneurship and Airbnb. So I have added her. She is ready. I'm just waiting on her to pop in. How you guys doing today? Hey, Ida. Make sure I got some lip gloss on because when I get to talking, my lips start getting dry. Good. That's good. I'm good as well. I am good. I just chilled today. Um, just wrapped up a family reunion this weekend, so that was hectic. That was just a lot. I mean, right. Okay. And then prior to the family reunion, I just came back from a cruise, so it's like that's a lot back to back. Even though it sounds like a lot of fun, which it is, it's just draining. So today, me and my immediate family, we just been chilling. Miss Mia, hi. Akivia, hey. I'm just waiting on her to join. Let me let her know that I invited her. Hello. Yeah, I'm just trying to get her added in, and then we can start chit-chatting about entrepreneurship and Airbnb. If you guys have any questions in the meantime while you're waiting, definitely drop those questions below, and we can answer those questions. Hey, let me try to add you now. Oh, here we go. Perfect.
Hey girl, hold on.
Hey,
Let me put a filter on. I look a mess.
girl, me. I was like, oh my God, I don't feel like putting
Ooh,
on no makeup or nothing. It's just gonna be me, raw
period.
me.
No lashes.
You look good.
You look good. Your lashes look good too.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, we could just start off with introductions and then let people come in, and then if they want to ask some questions, we can definitely answer their questions and just go from there.
I'm
You
down
want to
with that.
start?
Okay, cool. I'll start. So my name is Lena, otherwise known as the Nomad Nurse. And I've been a nurse for almost 12 years. Started out surgical trauma ICU. I am now a NICU nurse, meaning neonatal ICU. I don't do adults at all. Neonatal ICU, and been doing that for about 11 years. I've done everything from management to bedside to now I'm back travel nursing and PRN princessing it up while I can. And been on this journey just trying to figure out everything. I've been doing the Airbnb situation for about a year. I purchased a new home a year ago and I Airbnb out of my home. So I Airbnb a studio that is in my house. And I decided to go the route of property management. So that's where her and I are different, but we cover both ends of Airbnb is that she manages her Airbnbs herself and I do property management because I am a travel nurse.
Sounds amazing. Okay, I'm gonna do mine and then we can get into it because I got some questions for you too.
Okay.
So I am Nikita, better known as the Airbnb RN, and I've been a nurse for about 7 years now. Started from the bottom at
Now
med
we
surg
here.
tele. Nothing against med surg tele nurses because I feel like we got great time management skills. But I just that's where I started from. Then I went to PCU. I end goal wanted to be an emergency department nurse, but for whatever reason at the facility that I was at, I could never get accepted. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start traveling because regardless, I'm going to get the experience one way or the other. So I started traveling right before COVID. Then I traveled through COVID. Now, I stopped traveling like out of state contracts because I was like, okay, we making money, but at the end of the day, I want to start making some money for myself. Like I'm getting this money by working from for others, but I want to do something that I'm passionate about and get money from that. And I had always had Airbnb on my mind. So my last contract, I was like, okay, when I go home, I'm gonna start my Airbnb, and that's what I did. Since then, I've been doing Airbnbs for about 3 years, and working either local contracts or PRN. Um, as like Lana said, she does the property management. She does it. You said you do it from your home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that makes us different is I do the arbitrage method where I do it from apartment communities. So basically my business goes to these communities or messages them, reaches out to them and asks them, okay, is this acceptable at y'all community? Do you allow this business model? And then I will rent out an apartment from my business name from them and then let people stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are now. I do it that way because I felt like I always known I wanted to get in real estate, but I never knew how to go about it outside of my own personal home. So it's like I feel like when you have too many options to do something, you get with any human like we get it's too many options, so sometimes we end up not making a choice or we just get so confused because there's so many financing options, there's so many ways to go into real estate, single family, multifamily, like so many ways. Like you can use the equity in your home as a financing option. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start off with this because it was the easiest, like less risk for me. Didn't have to buy like a whole bunch of furniture because these are one bedroom apartments, and then I will grow from there. And so now with me growing, now I'm ready to invest into my own personal property. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I am with that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel like what made you go the property management route?
For me, we attempted the arbitrage way. Like I attempted with a friend, basically doing my apartment as a travel nurse and trying to do it on my own, and it failed miserably. Part of which is because the apartment did not accept Airbnb, so we was trying to do it under the table type of thing. And so I was like, so to prevent that, I don't even want to deal with apartment management anymore. I want to see I want to find a home that accepts it, accepts Airbnbs in their HOA or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And so I knew that me personally, I wasn't ready to give up travel nursing. And so that's why I went the property management way, is because I just know, like, turnover wise, I knew the potential of this studio, and I knew it was going to turn over. Eventually I want my whole house to be Airbnb, and I have, hired, decorators or whatever for the interior of my home to make sure that I can possibly do that. But right
Mhm.
now it's just a studio in the bottom floor of my home. And
Okay, that's
so, but yeah, I did property management because I knew I wasn't going to be able to put my full effort forward. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
be able to give people the experience that I would want if I were from an Airbnb,
That sounds,
as a
yeah,
guest.
I understand that.
Hmm.
So, you said one key thing like that I did not know when I first went into it. Like, you definitely have to deal with like when it comes with apartments. I didn't know like the people in there, they're like a rotating door.
Hmm.
So that is one big thing that you do have to deal with. And that was one of the big mistakes that I made when I first went into it because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody to tell me otherwise. I went in there and I got a verbal agreement like, hey, yeah, you could do it here or whatever. And then like a month into it, a new owner bought the whole community out and
Hmm.
changed the whole management. And then they didn't allow it anymore. But at that point for me, it's like I always tell people you have to know what your why is to why you're trying to do something, because I could have easily said, you know what, I'm not doing this no more because yeah, I'm gonna just
That's what I did.
put the furniture put the furniture. You did, but you didn't at the same time because
Mhm.
you're still doing it. But I could have brought the furniture to my house, said just to hell with it. But I'm like, man, no, this it has to work. But those that's like me learning from my mistakes. Nowadays
Mhm.
I try to learn from my mentors or like reaching out, getting education from other places, because I was, when I say I was sick when I had to move out of there, like I had a 7-day eviction notice on my door and everything. It was like, you got to go. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But definitely that's one thing that you have to deal with, and but you definitely get it written. I get it written and I tell all my mentees or whoever I'm talking to about it, get it written down on paper. So even if something like that were to happen, you will have it written. They will have to honor that 1 year lease. When it comes for me, like managing, that can be an issue too. I always tell people, you either gonna need a virtual assistant, hire one, or you're gonna need a close friend or somebody. And like my significant other, that's who helps me. So if I'm not able to respond, he's responding. So that's how I'm able to like still manage it myself. But I
Mhm.
100% understand where you're coming from. It's like, okay, like, because they, you can provide them with all the information that they need, and they still will ask you
Question.
questions. They'll be reading. They don't be
Mhm.
reading.
Mhm.
But
Reading is fundamental.
hello, I just feel like, oh my God.
Mhm.
And people have to realize too, they think they're gonna just get into Airbnb and first of all, it's 100% passive, or it's just real estate. But no, it's really like hospitality.
It's
Like you have to
hospitality.
talk to people, all different types of people. Like it's a
Mhm.
lot, and you don't know it sometimes until you get in, or you, like I said, you have that person that's been there, done that to tell you. But you get in, you like, oh, I didn't even know any of this. But you have to still be willing to continuously learn as well.
Because at the end of the day, them stars at the bottom, you know how you rate your experience? Them stars mean a lot.
I swear, and two, that's what I tell my cleaners. Like when if I'm hiring somebody, and we that's my next question for you. When I'm hiring somebody, first of all, I didn't know how to hire and fire, but whatever. Um, if I'm having problems with the cleanliness, and your people are leaving reviews in reference to that, now we have an issue because I'm a review person. Like I like to read reviews before, like food reviews, like clothing reviews, like any type of reviews. I like to read the reviews, and then I'm gonna make my decision based on that. But if your cleanliness is not up to par, and I'm getting bad reviews, first of all, Airbnb can take you off the site for too many bad reviews, and then the next day people ain't gonna book. So if they're not booking, I'm not getting paid, and you ain't getting paid. So
Mhm.
like, hello, like it's just so much. So how how do you feel like your transition from nursing to entrepreneurship has gone? Like, is that smooth for you? Like, was it super easy? Do you feel like every nurse can be an entrepreneur?
I definitely think it's like almost embedded in you. I think that, like you said, I think entrepreneurship is embedded in somebody, and then you have to have some type of basis, like a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, of some sort. And so I don't necessarily have an Airbnb mentor, but I have a mentor just in life and in nursing and all of that, that I can go to and ask questions about. And she be 100% transparent with me or whatever. Like this housing choice, everybody are like my family, my friends, my mentor knew exactly what I was going for. I wasn't going for a house that's like where I'm gonna live there for the rest of my life. Yeah, I want that. That'd be great. But I was always looking for something that I can flip into a studio and flip into the rest of the house and to be able to put it on Airbnb. And so I think that entrepreneurship comes with, yes, has to be in your heart, your spirit, but it also comes with your community around you who is uplifting you to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to go into this, because it's not easy. It was not an easy transition going from nursing to entrepreneurship. I've failed before, like I said, and you know, the people who've uplifted me and my mentors are still there. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So somebody that is there for you through thick and thin. But I think that that is definitely part of the reason why I'm still doing it is the motivation and strength and tenacity from my mentors.
Mhm.
Um,
100%.
so what about
I agree
you?
with that. I feel the same as you feel, and I also feel like us nurses. I, after I did nursing school, I feel like I could do anything.
Yes.
So I feel like that was like one of the hardest times of my life. So after that, it's just like, Nikita, like if you got through that, you could get through anything. So with nurses, I just feel like we're on another level. Like if it's something that you want to do, you can definitely do it. But then that also aligns with what you just said. Like a lot of people don't know about getting into the rooms and getting those mentors. Sometimes we might not be around the people or have the family member that's in those positions where we aspire to be to get us there or give us the knowledge and the game that we need. So we can have the dream all we want, but if we're not seeing it around us, then we really won't know what's possible. So definitely you can do it. Any nurse that's on here can do whatever they're aspiring to do, whether that be Airbnb or not, any other type of real estate or not.
Hmm.
But you definitely have to let your mind know that it's possible, and then also work on your mind, being that I'm saying mindset. So like you said, the mentor doesn't have to be specifically in the area that you aspire to be, but you can have different mentors in every part of your life. Like I have a mindset mentor, I have just a nursing mentor, I've had a real estate mentor. So you have to start, you're gonna have to pay for education basically, and that
Yeah.
education is going to fast track you. Like I said, when I first started Airbnb, I made so many mistakes, but at that point, I really didn't know. Like I knew what a mentor was, but I didn't know like who could be my mentor. Like I didn't know how to find a mentor. I wasn't getting into rooms where other people were thinking like I was thinking. So it was just like, okay, I can do it. Well, let me just go on YouTube, which I still made it, but I made mistakes along the way, and then it took me that much longer to do versus now I'm just like, okay, who can I pay to get this knowledge quick and to show me how to do it? Basically, hold my hand and show me which way to go.
Hmm.
So that's how I feel about that. I feel like every nurse can definitely do what they want to do. I feel like nurses should definitely be making money
The
outside of the bedside.
bedside,
Right.
definitely.
And with me, it's just, I feel like when I'm looking at any wealthy person, they all have some aspect of real estate under their belt. So for me, it was just like, okay, well, why not real estate? And that's
Hmm.
why I went the way that I went.
Hmm.
On the other end, nurses can definitely do anything, but just like with any job, I feel like we go into that job, we don't know what we're gonna encounter, but we know the steps to handle what we have to deal with. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's a lot of unknown. So that kind of goes back to that education, those mentors, whatever you need to get to that next level. So that's where we have to grow at. Because I go to work, I'm like, I see some social media videos, nurses be having anxiety before work just because they don't know what they're walking into. With me, I'm more so laid back. I don't know what I'm walking into, but I'm just like, okay, we're gonna figure it out. That's how I handle everything. So even with entrepreneurship, but it
Hmm.
just helps me now to look for that education and finding my person. So like my mentor right now is Nurse Lois. Like when I was looking for a mentor, I'm like, okay, who can I trust? Who's relatable? Because you can get somebody that you're not even relatable to, and this is like why you're not gonna really listen to them if you feel like you can't relate to them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So when I found her, I was like, man, when is she gonna drop a mentorship so I can jump on this mentorship because I need it to progress where I'm trying to go because entrepreneurship is the unknown. I don't know what I don't know, and
Hmm.
she was already on that path of knowing.
Hmm.
So that's my
I
little
like that.
spiel on that.
I like that. And so, two of the things that we both can take away, or the audience could take away, is one, you could do what, as nurses, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You just have to have your mindset ready to be able to do that. And two, mentorship. So, yes, you may have to spend a couple dollars, you might have to spend a
A
couple
hundred
dollars to get you a
percent.
mentor. But at the end of the day, if you find somebody that is for you, they are going to elevate you. They're going to leverage you to the next level.
Mhm. And with
And that's what but we both can say and attest to.
mm-hmm, 100%. And a lot of people, the people that have gotten a mentorship and might feel like it doesn't work, that might simply be because they got the mentorship, they got the information, but they didn't execute on the
You
information.
didn't apply it, right?
Exactly. And you,
Application or that wasn't the mentor for you. It could be you, it could be them.
true, true. 100%, 100%. So right now I'm quick to execute. Like if they tell me to do something, I'm like, I might be like, oh my God, like cringe, like because it is definitely stepping out of your comfort zone. It's kind of like that first day on the floor as your nurse. It's like, damn, I'm really a nurse out here. Like I'm about to do all of this stuff. But you figure it out. Same thing with entrepreneurship. You like, dang, they want me to do this. Like, it's uncomfortable, but you definitely have to get comfortable being uncomfortable to level up. So,
Hmm. Somebody asked us a question. Hold on, let me go back. It was all the way back here. Somebody, it was pretty good too. One of the questions I was going to ask you, besides, we're going to get to horror stories too.
uh,
What's the difference between property management and Airbnb? So I'll answer the part about property management, and you want to do like Airbnb
mhm,
arbitrage stuff. Okay.
mhm,
So property management is basically I have someone who I hired as a property manager who manages my property. And so what they do is I have the actual, you know, building. So I have the home that has the studio in it. What they do is manage it in a sense of everything Airbnb. So basically, am I too loud, friend? Am I too loud? Okay. Sorry, I have a roommate too. So what they do is actually manage everything. So they'll do, if something breaks, basically a handyman. They'll do cleaning. They'll flip the studio over. So by flipping it over, I mean if I have a guest that stand for 2 days, and then I have a guest that comes that same day and checks in at 3 o'clock, they're gonna have that thing cleaned up, handyman already there, fixed up, whatever is broken, and all of that within the time for the next person to check in. It's already flipped over, basically. What else do they have? They have so many different benefits of it. However, the difference is that they have a different, they take a percentage out of what I would get from Airbnb or other property management sites. So, like Airbnb, Furnish Finder, we're on VRBO, all of that. So, they list it under their listing, which also means that I have great reviews because they have been property management for years. So
mhm,
I started out with stars or whatever under them, right? Because they listed it. They also did photographs, professional photographs for my site. And they take off a certain percentage of each booking. So for me, I believe it's like 7 to 10%, and then whatever the cleaning fee is. So for me, I've had basically Airbnb guests that want to stay. So I've had long-term guests. So that means that I've had guests that stay like 2 to 3 months for me. And this has been for the past year. So just imagine this is only a studio apartment in my home. Okay. I'm gonna be very transparent on here of how much we turn over. So we turn over about 2,400 basically for a studio. That is a 1 bedroom with a bathroom with a mini refrigerator, their own washer and dryer, a closet, a bathroom, and a shower, right in the bottom of my home. They don't have access to my home. I have access to them if I need to, but they have their own entrance. They park where they're supposed to park. They have the gate keys and all that kind of stuff or whatever. It turns over about 2,400 a month. I probably get about 18 after cleaning, like once they come in, 1,000 to 18, depending on how long they have stayed or what the deal is that they made with the property management team. This is for a studio. A
mhm.
studio. Now, my neighbor, for example, his turns over faster, meaning he has more guests. He attributes more guests that are
Short
like not
term.
transient, but they're coming in and out. They're coming in
Mhm,
and out. So, for example, 1 month he grossed. like meaning after the fact that they took their money out, gross $2,400 a month out of a studio, one bedroom out of your house, one bedroom, $2,400, 24 to 28, something like that, $100 out of one bedroom out of your house.
So when you say, I'm trying to think because I had thought about doing it my house, doing it at my house as well, but I don't have a separate entrance. So your separate entrance, it separates your living space from theirs. See,
Like
yeah,
the
I will
house was
100% do it then.
the house was built for an Airbnb, or for, it's they call it a what is it, an in-law suite.
Is it like I see what you look at it in Texas?
Uh-huh.
I seen a home in Texas. It looked like a regular single family home, but at the front door, it had another door right there at the
It's probably the
side.
same community, or they built it.
I was
I
like,
don't want
that
to
was
say my
perfect.
builder, but because it's gonna give away where I live, but
Hmm.
it's probably that builder,
That I was
because
like, dang, this would be
I feel
perfect.
like they're from California, and they got that model from California because that's where I saw it at. Like years ago when I started travel nursing 4 years ago, it was in LA, and I saw that model of home. Like someday that's gonna be in Texas, and I'm gonna do Airbnb. Someday that's gonna be in Texas, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna do Airbnb. Someday that's gonna be in Texas, and
And
I'm
you
gonna do
talked it
Airbnb.
right on up.
And I manifested that shit, and it came right on here. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I'll send it to
Yes,
you.
I want to see because I
Hmm.
think that's what it is. I was like, and it went straight into it was just like a room, but it was like a bigger size room that kind of sort of accommodated the room, the
Right.
bathroom, and a small little living area. And I was like, dang, but it was still connected to the house.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And what we get in Houston, I'll say where I'm from. Everybody knows where I'm from. It's on my profile. Well, in Houston, we are the largest medical center in the world. So we get nurses, we get, travel nurses, we get travel respiratory therapists, we even get travel PCAs. I've had one of those before. But we're also close enough to Galveston, or uh, what I'm talking about, the Gulf, to
Mhm.
get people who are in oil and gas, and they are also transient and wanting somewhere to stay where it feels like a home. It's more than what I can get out of a hotel,
Just the room
but
and bed.
it can accommodate, yes, it can accommodate me for a long-term stay. So I made sure that when I did decor, that aesthetically it looks like it could be somebody's home,
Hmm.
not somebody's apartment or anything, something where you gonna want to stay and lay your head at and not want to leave. And that's what I did. And then, with that, it comes with, it's a gated community, there's a pool, they all have access to that. And it's a safe area in Houston.
That sounds amazing. That really does. I don't think
Mhm.
they have anything like that here that I've seen, but that would be awesome. So, to just go double back and answer that second portion of the question, just basically what makes us different, which is what it answered. So it just seems like on the property management aspect, you have a property manager, and just simply I don't. So whereas I'm pretty much doing everything, you have somebody that's doing everything for you. That's right.
Mhm.
So yeah. So on the flip side, I do the Airbnb arbitrage, which is where I briefly stated at the beginning, my business basically goes to an apartment community and see if they allow corporate leases or short-term rentals in their community. Some
Mhm.
do, some don't. If they do, I just basically ask them what are their requirements for me to do business in their community. They let me know, and I either agree with those or I don't agree with those. Some of those requirements can be like criminal screenings, 14, 7-day minimum stays. They can want to charge each guest an application fee. So I always tell people, if they say they allow it, ask what the requirements are, and then you make the decision if you want to move forward. Because as you start to scale, you might not have time to do all the requirements for as many check-in and check-outs that you're gonna have. But so I do Airbnb arbitrage like that. So I have 7 units right now in multiple communities. Um, I handle all of my communications, all of my turnovers. I do all of that. So it sounds like a lot, but if you have some systems in place, it's definitely possible um, to do it from your phone.
So I
So
totally want to, like once I move back and am settled, shit, I will hire you as a mentor to do arbitrage. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm gaining a lot of insight and information from property management. They just don't know that I'm paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying attention. But I would love to. I'll definitely reach out to you, once I'm back stateside.
And I mean, I feel like you already have it going on. It's nothing that you would have to pay or get from me. You can always come to me, ask me questions, but it's one of those things you just take it over. Definitely have to have some systems in place, like your automated messaging. I use a cleaner site called Turno.com. Like, I swear by that site, love that site. So it automates everything with your cleaners. You hire your cleaner. Now, I feel like the property management aspect, that's like a big burden that they're taking off your shoulders, the cleaners, because that's
Mm-hmm.
probably my
And they have
number one.
insurance too.
Yeah, so that's
Mm-hmm.
probably like my number one issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they have insurance already, you don't have to get your own. But
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, everything else is not that big of a headache because I'm sending out automated messaging already. I have that already on my site. So it goes out when the guest books, is going out. The day of their check-in, it's going out. The
Mm-hmm.
next day after their first night is going out. When the guest books, Airbnb sends it to the Turno site, so then my cleaner automatically picks it up. So really, only time I'm communicating is, like I said, if they haven't read the instructions or read the information that I've sent them. So I'm just following up with an answer of what they already stated, or if they have an issue. I feel like a lot of people get held up on what if this happens, or what if this happens, or what if this
It's
happens. Things are
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen,
It's gonna
right?
happen.
Things are gonna happen, but to be honest, you just have to handle them as they come up. Like, yes, there have been things that have happened that have needed my immediate attention, but it's nothing that made me want to stop, or made me say that I can't handle this, or made me say that, nah, let me let somebody else take it over. Like, you could definitely do it. Like, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can do one, I'm doing seven. You can definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to be there. Um, and just like I said, if you have somebody that's close to you, maybe like during your sleep hours, if you work during the night, I'd be working during the night. So in the daytime, sometimes I'd be trying to sleep, trying. Um, he might answer some guests back for me, while I'm trying to get a little Z's. But outside of that, it's a minimum texting. It's like very minimum texting that I have to do unless I'm trying to handle an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. You guys, if y'all have any questions about Airbnb and entrepreneurship, definitely drop it down below so we can answer your questions.
Yes. Do you
She said, I'm in
recommend
Houston now. I wish I would have done that.
do you recommend areas to avoid buying in Texas due to the weather out
I
there?
see
I
that. I've
would
never been off
say,
the train.
hey, Nurse Deej. So for me, I looked in homes in Houston, and I wanted a house that was, you want to look outside of the flood zones. So
Mm,
I am not in a flood zone, however, I paid for it, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm,
You gonna pay to not be in a flood zone in Houston, Texas. Okay.
mm,
However, do I feel like the Airbnb is still worth it? Absolutely. Do I still want to do the apartment thing as well, arbitrage as well? Yes, absolutely. But you want to look for homes. If you're getting a home, you want to look at homes that are not in a flood zone.
mm-hmm,
Tornadoes in Texas, I mean, you cannot predict a tornado, but flood zone comes with added insurance, which I already add that type of insurance to my home anyways. But it is very expensive. So outside of a flood zone, most definitely. Tornadoes, you can't predict that we're part of the tornado belt. You ain't gonna be able to predict that. Hurricanes in Houston, you can't predict, but what you can predict is the fact that some homes in Houston are lower than others, like meaning like ground wise, and you may or may not be in a flood zone, but they will know, like how they map the city out. They will know when you purchase a home, ask them, hey, am I in a flood zone or not? Like, is this community in a flood zone or not? And they should be able to tell you that information. You can also look it up online to make sure that you're not in a flood zone. Either way, in Houston or in Texas in general, I would always get flood insurance.
that's good insight right there.
Mm.
Because I don't, if you're investing outside of where you live at, I've been to Houston, but I'm not familiar with Houston, so I didn't know that it was like prone to flooding. So if I were to
Mm-hmm.
just go there and looking like I do apartments right now, but some people do houses like rent from the owner and then
Hmm.
arbitrage the house out. I would not have known to like check the flood zone area,
Yeah.
and who's to say that the owner would have told me?
Hmm.
So that's good. Checking the weather condition of wherever you're investing in. That's definitely important.
You're welcome, Nurse Deej. I appreciate your question. That was a good question. But yeah, it is mostly just Houston with the flood zone situation. Like anything below Central Texas, you want to make sure that you are checking the flood zones.
My
Like you
sister
in
is in
Dallas and
Killeen,
you
and
in
she
Dallas, huh?
she talking about flooding there in Killeen, Texas. That's where my
Oh,
sister
that's
stays, and she's.
that's Central Texas. So I didn't know there was a flood zone there. So yeah, I mean, that's Central Texas. That's by Austin.
Let's see. What other questions I had on here? Y'all drop y'all questions if y'all have any.
Yes,
Don't
please.
be shy.
Because if not, I got a question for her. I got a question for Nikita.
You go ahead.
Okay, my question is, okay, what's your worst horror story of a
Um,
guest?
the one that comes to my mind immediately, and it wasn't even. Well, I guess it is the guest. So, and it's kind of halfway, half and half. The guest and the cleaner. So, one of my units, it was a one bedroom, one bath. I want to say this was around Thanksgiving. So, a little side note about me. I'm on Facebook and I be in these Airbnb Facebook groups and I see where these other hosts sometimes they be watching their guests like a hawk. Like they be on the cameras, they be like, okay, the person is doing this. What should I say? What should I do? And I'm not that type of person.
Mhm.
Because to be honest, I have had little gatherings at an Airbnb before, but like I always say, if my name on the dotted line, like you gonna get your stuff back exactly how it was. We gonna clean up everything. You ain't even gonna know anything took place. So I can't remember where I was at, but throughout the night, I have a Ring door cam on outside of my unit. So man, that door was like a rotating door all night. I was like, okay, but I can click in and hear too, and it wasn't like real loud. So I'm like, all right, we're just gonna see. Okay, night was over. The next day come. So now I'm waiting on the cleaner to get there because I had a same day check in. So the time going by, sometimes with cleaners, if they have a cleaning business, they if they have same day check-ins, they will prioritize going to those cleans first versus ones that aren't. That's how it usually is. I'm not sure what was up with this particular cleaner. She no longer works for me no more. But I'm just watching the hours go by. Like, dang, has she got there yet? Has she got there yet? No, she ain't got there yet. So finally, about three, I was at my mom's house with my best friend. She was there. I was like, y'all, I need to go up here to this unit, see what's going on. Like, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe she got there and maybe it was a little slip in her camera and they didn't catch her. So I was like, man, y'all come with me because I don't know, I might need some help. So my mama came with me, my best friend came with me. We got there. First of all, the door was open. It was about 6, 7 bags of trash. This was an apartment community. This was about 6, 7 bags of trash outside the door. Pushed the door open. It was, I don't know, they had not spilled something on the floor. It was puddles or some liquid on the floor. Nothing clean. It wasn't horrible, horrible dirty, but it definitely was a gathering that took place. And
Mhm.
check-in was at 4 p.m. and we got there at 3 p.m. So I usually keep some stuff in my car just in case I need it. And at that time, I was also keeping a lot of cleaning supplies at the unit prior to me wanting the cleaners to supply their own cleaning supplies. But like 15 minutes later, the cleaner arrived. I was like up to here with her because at that point I'm like, Mama, you go in the bathroom, you go in the kitchen, my best friend go in the bathroom, I'm going to the living room. Like we got to get this thing turned over fast. And we did it. It was still behind time a little bit, but then of course that ran into the next guest, and she wanted some compensation back, and I'm just like, oh my
Them
god.
be the ones, the compensation
It was
people,
literally
and you
like
want cut up.
it was literally like 15 minutes over. And she was like, well, we got somewhere to be, and da, da, da. And I was like, apologize, and I did provide some compensation back, because I'm just like, damn. But I also got onto that cleaner because it was three of us up there cleaning. Went no way you were gonna have this unit flipped within an hour with just you. She had her man, her husband, which was a part of the cleaning team too. But for whatever reason, with I haven't had good experience with male cleaners. No, no press to any males on the line right now that are good cleaners, but I haven't had any good experience with him. But he just didn't move with urgency. I just didn't feel like he was detail oriented, and it wasn't no way I was gonna get it done without my next guest complaining that something wasn't done right. So that was just one of my horror stories. And then the first one was the original one that I told you. I had that 7-day eviction notice on my door.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just go into the backstory about that really quick for people that are interested that might do the same mistake. So when I came back from that travel assignment, I was gung ho. I was ready to start my Airbnb. So I didn't do any market research. I didn't do anything. I was just driving around. I was like, ooh, this is a good area. Ooh, that's a new apartment complex. Like, okay, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go to the office and I'm gonna ask them. So I went there. They ended up telling me, yeah. So then from that point, I started making a plan to like, okay, when my move-in date gonna be, I'm gonna start buying furniture or all of that stuff or whatever. So did that, moved in. Like I said, a new owner bought out the community. He put a whole new management team in there. So we get notices on the door saying, "Hey, well, this is a new management company." Da, 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 da. I was like, I didn't think nothing about it at the time because I'm like, I already got the A. Okay, we good. But then, it wasn't a guest complaint. I just feel like they saw the traffic because management companies they do be paying
They
attention.
be paying
And then
attention.
right, and then one day I saw them put a notice on my door like 5 minutes before it was supposed to. The office was supposed to close on a Sunday. So I was like, dang, my guest is going. What the hell could they have put on my door? So I was like, I stayed like 15 minutes away from it at the time. So I was like, if the guests come back, I'll see them on the camera. If they don't come back by the time I get there, I'm gonna run up there and I'm gonna get the note. So I ran up there, got the note because they hadn't come back, and it was that 7-day eviction notice. And basically, it was because that new owner didn't want any corporate leases at that community anymore, regardless of what the previous management company had told
Mm-hmm.
me. But I did not get it in writing. I didn't get it in on the lease. I didn't get it in the email. I only got it verbally. So at the end of the day, I had to end up moving from that community. Wasn't seven
Mm-hmm.
days because I kept going out to that office like, hey, I didn't do nothing wrong. This was an agreement that we had. I am still working as a full-time nurse. I still do got bookings coming. I'm gonna need additional time. So it ended up being extended out to 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved right into the next community that I had found.
Somebody said, was this a property that you were renting in your name and using it as an Airbnb?
So no, it was in my business name.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, it was my first, good question. That was my first unit, so I did have to PG it with my personal guarantee, meaning like basically co-signing it because I didn't have as much business credit. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of communities use the same lease. Like some communities, they'll have a corporate application. Some communities won't have a corporate lease application, and it'll just be the regular general application that they use for every other tenant. So in those leases, there is a area that says no subletting, which is basically what it is
Yeah.
if you're renting it and re-renting it, regardless of what people say. So that's why that addendum is so important to get because it's saying not to do it. So we need them to say that they know that we're
That
doing
we're
it.
doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be them sending you an email and you just say that email, or whether that be them putting an addendum in there somewhere. So now, ever since then, that addendum is going to be in there.
Mm-hmm. Period. Because that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened the first time I had tried it too. Subletting was on there and we just did it anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
they gonna catch
But we learn from the mistakes. Ooh, when I say I was sick, I can't sleep, I can't eat. I'm like, Jesus, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, that when they say you got to put some fire up under your behind, that's what that means. I was like, okay, I was writing down all the apartments. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I was writing down all the apartments I could, calling them, going there. Like, I gotta find somewhere to go because I can't bring all this furniture home with me. Like, it could have sat in my garage, but I didn't want it to sit in my garage. I really wanted to Airbnb.
you.
So those are my two. Those
Mm-hmm.
are my two. Have you
Mm-hmm.
had any issues?
I have. So I had this guest that stayed for 3 months. She was a travel PCA. And I just knew when she first moved in, I was like, I don't like her. There's something about her I
Trouble,
just don't like.
trouble.
I already knew it. I have a spirit of discernment, and when I meet somebody, I just know if they for me and if they not. And so I stayed far, far away from this lady. But anyway, nonetheless, you can't just kick them out for nothing, right? So, but it was just like multiple complaints to property management. You know, she a little loud. You know, this is a community. You a little loud and down there. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, you have multiple people in there and it's only meant for two people. You need to get their ass up out of there. Let's get their ass up out of there. It's one thing if they visiting you, but they spending the night. No, ma'am. This is
Exactly.
still a community. Get their ass up out of there. That's number two. Then she had did it again when the rodeo came. I was like, oh, I hope that she not staying during the rodeo time. But she gonna pay. She still paid. But anyway, nonetheless, stayed through rodeo time. She had guests over. One of the guests I saw, so I have a Ring camera as well, but our community comes with cameras around the perimeter of the home. So I can see it all around my house. And I'm so glad that it came with this. But anyways, around the perimeter of the home, I see one of her guests peeing in peeing not on the house, but still like beside the house. And I'm pissed because I have neighbors, it's right next
Hello.
door. Like
Hmm.
I have a townhome, so it's like we're not like we're gated on the outside. We're not gated from each other. So it was just embarrassing and all that. And so they went on to the rodeo. When they came back, Airbnb had locked their ass up out of there. Okay, you finna get out. And let me tell you, so when we was in here sleep in the opposite side of the house, she went through the window.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, she did. And she got her stuff up out of there, but she got it out of there smoothly. She knew not to like,
She had to get it and go.
she got it and got it and left. She was out of there by 6 a.m. But it was the fact that you still went through the window after somebody told you don't come in their house. So I called and made a police report. It took their ass forever to get over here because of course in Houston, if it's not a crime, an ongoing crime, nobody's deceased, they gonna get to you last because that's what goes on in Houston. Those who ain't been here, it's some crime on the north side, okay? And so that's where they at. It's on the north side. They not coming central. They not coming south. And so it took almost a day for them to get here, but I made a full police report. I told them I want to press immediate charges against her to the fullest extent of the law. And that's what I'm doing because it was a younger girl, like in her 20s or whatever. She made, not even that, made a TikTok about it, thought it was funny.
Oh
Okay, I got
wow.
your funny. I got your funny. I got you funny because you're gonna learn about because technically you broke and entered into my home
Right.
after somebody told your ass don't come in. And so I am in the legal process of pressing charges against her. But nonetheless, she did not damage the home. She really did just wash and dry her things and left. She claimed that she had so much stuff, which she did because she was here for 3 months. She had so much stuff that, the Airbnb wanted to ship her stuff, is what the thing was. And so she had so much stuff that she felt like she wanted to pack her own car. It's kind of like us with travel nurses. We pack our stuff in our cars or whatever. But I wasn't trying to hear that. We didn't grant you access into our house. So you should have waited for one of us to get back home. And I would have let you in. Honestly, I would have let you in to get your shit monitored with a police officer.
Right. Hmm.
But instead you took it upon yourself and wanted to go through the window. And so now you got a criminal case against your ass. And so now you will never be a nurse because you know.
That's crazy. She
So yeah, she was crazy.
clothes.
Huh?
She really couldn't wait to get the clothes.
She's that's what she claimed. She was drunk, child.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
So you've never done short term rental, always like midterm.
I've done short term, but it just turns out that like people want to stay here. So like before this guest, I had a month of short terms where it was turning over maybe once a week, twice a week kind of thing.
Hmm.
But then once like that was like after the rodeo. So like what month was that? April or so? Month are we in now? Like April or so, March, April, we kind of had more turnover or so. But now it's like, and when I first started, it's every 3 months. They want to stay 3 months. And I started out only requesting for 30-month stays. I mean,
Right.
30-day stays. So, but it's kind of been to the point where people want to stay. Like this guy has booked for 90 days blindly,
Mhm,
just based off of the reviews and stuff like that.
mhm. I will say when I do get a lot of 1 month. I some It depends on what the reason is, but 1 month stays. Sometimes I've gotten 3 month stays as well. But those midterm stays, they're hands off. Like they are, like you said, your what you get versus what your neighbor gets. Short term to midterm, there it is. Midterms, you do get a little less, but it's definitely way more hands off than the short term because I constantly got people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
The messaging is constantly going out. They don't know the community. Sometimes they don't know how to get there with their
They don't
GPS and the
know how to
directions that I
get in. They don't know how to do
get.
this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, or where's this, that, and the third. So once I have that midterm stay person in there and I've told them everything that they need to know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't be hearing from them.
Yeah, I
I'm
haven't
like,
heard from
dang,
this
I
guy.
forgot I got somebody in there.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So I do
Like,
love them. I just don't feel like I feel like this market, like you said, it's a medical market there, and then it's close to like the oil and stuff. So people are traveling and staying there for a good amount of time. We do
mm-hmm.
travel nurses here, but to be honest, a lot of times in people's script, they say travel nurses, but us travel nurses, we be looking for deals too.
You
And
do.
the only time I would say that I stayed at an Airbnb when I was travel nursing was when I was travel nursing with a friend because we
Mm-hmm.
busted down the middle. But if I'm going there by myself, I stayed at a condo in Tallahassee. But I found that on Furnish Finders.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's why we on Furnish Finder too.
yeah.
I know you on Furnish Finder.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
I've never stayed at one just by myself. So it's been construction workers. I have got insurance claim people, but I found those on Furnish Finders as well. Displaced families, and they stayed 2 to 3 months as well. Um, but yeah, those the short term rentals you can definitely get a little bit more money, but you have to pay more in cleaning versus your one cleaning fee, and you're
Mm-hmm.
more hands on. So I like my little midterm rentals. Hey, Nurse Lois. And hey,
Somebody,
thanks for jumping in, y'all. If y'all have questions, please drop them down below so we can answer y'all questions.
hey Nurse Lois. And then somebody had asked, do you recommend hiring a property management when you start? I'm in the process of mid-setting my place as a one and a half bath as my county doesn't allow a full house Airbnb. I am gearing towards midterm. Do you recommend, so basically the question is, do you recommend hiring a property management when you start? It's kind of up to you.
Mhm.
Do you have the time management to be able to turn these properties over as quickly as could be, every 2 days? Do you have the time to do that? So that is a question for you, actually. Do you have, the team? You need to build a team if you don't have a property management. Yeah, like she said, so like, making sure that you have cleaners available, that you have 24-hour maintenance available. It's a lot that comes with Airbnb that people
Don't talk about.
don't see and don't talk about. But you have to have a team of people that are ready to start this Airbnb. So definitely having those things in your back pocket. And if you don't, I would go to property management way. I went the property management way because one, I didn't want to deal with it. I had a bad experience with doing it. Now could I personally do arbitrage myself? Probably. I just don't have the patience like Nikita has right now. And I'm moving around way too much. And I really, even the people that I do have in Houston, I have great friends, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't want to put that on anybody to have to run my part of my business and then me not pay them or whatever. I don't have a man like that. You know what I'm saying? That would do it out of the kindness of his heart. So,
I 100%
so
you. I feel like it's definitely based on the person, like, and
And what do you see as far as your long-term goal with it? Do you want to be a part of the business, or do you want to be more so hands off? Because if you're hiring that property management company, you're definitely going to be more so hands off, which is going to still allow you to be able to grow your business more, focus on more important things. With me, like I said, I went in and I didn't really have anybody to show me the ropes. So I
Hmm.
started off in the business and started learning as I was going. So when I first started, I was cleaning my own units. I If you have time, I will also always say just start within the business and then hire, because now, even with dealing with my cleaners, I started cleaning my own place. So it's never a time where a cleaner can tell me something that I don't know, because I was doing it myself. Like, okay, I can't do this turnaround because this takes 4 hours. Well, no, it only takes two, because I was in there cleaning it myself. Like, you can't tell me that. Like,
Hmm.
I know like the ins and outs because I was doing it. Once you get your systems in place, like I said, it will be minimum like communication that you will have to do, but you will still have to be present in your business, and you always be having to learn more. These property management companies, this their business, so they got everything. Like she said, they got the insurance already, they got the cleaners already, like they did the pictures already. This is all things that you're gonna have to be willing to go out and find who's the best person for you. Learn how to hire and fire people, because as nurses, I mean, we don't have to hire and fire people. So that's not
Hmm.
like our list of skills to do. So this is skills that I've had to adapt along the way. Like, damn, what am I supposed to be asking them? Like, should I do it over the phone or should I meet them? Like, okay, I don't like to be micromanaged, but
We met, yeah, we met in person. I made sure,
mm-hmm.
and they, but that's what they do. They meet in person with the property management.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it's a lot of
Research.
right. And I feel like it's a lot of learning on both sides, but definitely when you're doing it on your own without the property management company that comes with more experience, it's a lot of learning that you have to do that you didn't know that you might have had to do going in initially. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, that's your decision. Decision is yours.
The decision is up to you.
Now,
We could both say what we would do, but her and I probably would have a different answer for you.
exactly. And then also too, what did she said? Oh, she got a, was this a house that she was saying or no?
Yeah, a house like a 1 bedroom, 1.5.
So if you, regardless of whether you're renting it out or doing arbitrage in it, when you're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with a house versus what I'm doing with an apartment community, and your rent for an apartment community included is trash valet, pest control,
Yeah, pest control.
so
Mm-hmm.
these are things when I'm having an issue, I will call them. Like literally the other night, the guest had wrote me saying that they didn't feel like the AC was working. Well, certain things are emergencies. I called the emergency line. They went to the unit. But
Mm-hmm.
if I had a house, I would have to have somebody that could do maintenance all times of the hour, like all times of the hour, or have to make sure I hire a lawn service because I got to keep my lawn up. The apartment community, they got their own lawn service, so that's something that I don't have to worry about. I have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure trash get picked up when it's supposed to get picked up, and if we're having reoccurring guests at the house, you got to make sure you dispose of the trash before the next guest come, because you can't have all that trash piled up. Well, it's trash valet at the apartment community, so I don't have to worry about that. So that's like something else too that makes it easier for me to manage it myself.
Yes. It looked like we need a part two because they're getting into the questions in it. I think they Instagram only gives you an hour to be able to save it. You have to do it in less than an
Oh,
hour. But
dang.
yeah, in order to save it. So somebody said, where do you recommend getting a property manager from? Me personally, I got my property management team recommendation from my realtor. And so asking my realtor, what are your top three? Because she knew as well what I was looking for, and we found a perfect home. We found like three in this area that had like an Airbnb situation. This was the only one that had their private entrance with a side door where only I have access to it. And so asking her specifically and trusting in her specifically, what are three property management teams that you would go with that, people who have Airbnb their homes or their apartments or whatever, your clients that they have raved about? And I researched all three of them and picked one. and met I think I met with one, and I had already fallen in love with them. I read their reviews, I researched them, read back and forth our contract, and I absolutely loved them. So, and I've been with them for a year. So,
And to just piggyback off of what you're saying, then we can close out getting into the right room. So like
mhm.
it right now they have free real estate meetups all around the city. So one of the ones I go to, it was actually today, but I couldn't make it. It'd be so many people in that room. Like they meet at a restaurant. Just look up local real estate meetups and wherever you're located at. And they'll have property management companies. They'll have real estate agents. They'll have wholesalers, electrician, construction workers, like anybody that you're looking for, they be in those rooms. So then depending on how they run the ones wherever you're located. In this particular one, they'll do a topic. Like today they were doing real estate, like with storage, self-storage facilities, and then we'll go around the room. Everybody will introduce themselves, say what it is they do, and say what it is they're looking for. So if I happen to be looking for a property management company at that time, I'm like, hey, my name is Nikita, I do Airbnb Arbitrage, but I need to find a property management company. Now that we can connect with each other when we break off into
Mhm.
networking, so getting into the room and you can find that type of stuff.
I love that. I might have to start doing that as well, because I do want to get into doing my own as well. So that's a good idea. That's great, actually. So we might have to make a part two, because it's more questions, but we only got an hour, or they won't save it, is the only thing. So you can also DM us. Are you okay with them DMing you?
Of course, then follow me.
Follow
Um,
and then
yep,
DM.
the Airbnb RN. I just started a YouTube too, the Airbnb RN, TikTok, the Airbnb RN. You DM me, I will definitely DM you back. I do
Mhm.
provide a getting your Airbnb startup course, and I do mentorship as well.
Okay, and same, you can always DM me as well. We do have our mentorships up on our website. So you can go to our website, prnprincess.com, but you can find me anywhere as well, the Nomad Nurse on TikTok. I don't have a YouTube. I need to, but
My
because it'd be so much going on.
my mentor
Uh,
got me starting the YouTube. I'm like, all right,
here,
here I go.
here we go. So yeah, DM us with your questions, and we definitely need to do a part two at this point.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you guys for coming and dropping your questions, and we will see you on part two.
Part two. Thank you, Nikita.
Thank you.
Bye.